This is Arydia. We have completed a campaign of Arydia in 80 plus hours. And we want to talk to you about that.
This is an intervention.
Now, Arydia captured our hearts from the second we started it.
Yeah.
This is a campaign that we played again and again and again and again and again, repeatedly, with playing nothing else until it was done for 80 hours.
And then we reset the game and started over again with our 12-year-old.
Because he was so excited to play it, and we were excited to play it again, using different classes to experience new attacks and all that. Now, we want to preface this whole discussion we have about Arydia with what we have played for campaign games in the past. Just so you know where we are coming from when we tell you how much we love this game and why. So we have played Gloomhaven, we have played Jaws of the Lion, we've been working through Etherfield, Sleeping Gods, Rogue Angels, Journeys into Middle Earth. Have I missed any of our ISS Vanguard? Of course. And then there are more scenario-based, similar play type games such as like Mansions of Madness, Euthia, Heroes of Might and Magic, that sort of thing. I think that encompasses the campaign games that we have played. Some of these we have finished. Artisans of Splendid Vale.
Yes.
That's one that we have finished as well. So that is a big one for us too. So this is where we're coming from and our experience in the campaign RPG style game. Now, what they have done here, they have done really, really well. And I gotta tell you, this is our own bought copy. There is nothing sponsored here. There are no freebies, no nothing or anything like that. Although, regardless, we always give you honest reviews. Even if I tend to be very enthusiastic, sometimes it's still very honest enthusiasm. So, Arydia is an RPG style campaign game. Now, at the beginning, you get to choose your class from several, as well as your race. And all of the minis here are pre-painted, which is amazing, with interchangeable heads as well. So for whatever race you choose, there is a male and female version too.
And in addition, if you had purchased the small bodies expansion for the halflings and the dwarves, you can actually have little mini bodies.
So there is an open world exploration to this game as well. So you have a map where you are adventuring, going, exploring new tiles. When you open the tiles, you have maps that you go on, and then there are buildings you can go into. There's NPCs you can talk to. And what's really cool here is it captures that RPG element where one person does get to read. You pick up on keywords. It's kind of very similar to like a video game that way, as you get those keywords, get the information you want, sometimes get additional things, keys to lead you to other places. And it's really exciting to explore these different locations and going into different buildings and talking to these different people.
And the NPC cards give you cues as to what race are they, what do they sound like, what's a action that they continually do to help whoever is being the guide and reading that card into creating a character. If you want to do that, you don't have to. You can just read it in a monotone if you wanted.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fun that comes from this. There was so much humor built into this game. Some of it is built into the actual game itself, and we spent so much time laughing so hard. And then some of it is playing around with these different characters in the role-playing. And
in talking about the open world and how similar it is to a video game, I'm currently actually playing through Fallout 4, which is an open world video game, and it is such... They have captured that open world feel in a board game so well. As things change and you just flip a card to a different card, so when you go and talk to that NPC again, they are aware of the story elements that have gone before them, because that's built into the story of Arydia. And they've done a really great job of that, and it feels, going between a computer and Fallout 4 and sitting at a table and playing Arydia, it feels the same way either way, no matter where I'm sitting.
I think that's one of the really brilliant things here, is how well they've done that, because that's even within the maps. So if you have a map where there's some buildings or something and there's structural changes, you'll get either maps that overlay it for those structural changes or new maps to put out. The environment is really dynamic in how it changes along with the game. That makes it very, very exciting. And one of the cool things about that is it accomplishes this ever-changing storyline without the use of an app. Now, I want to preface this that it does get fiddly. It's probably my only slight complaint about the game is all the changing maps, all the maps to draw, all the NPCs, all the changing and all the changing cards. Takes a bit of patience sometimes dealing with all of that, but it is so worth it to have this experience of a changing dynamic game that does so without the use of technology. And that's huge. We do enjoy some app-driven games, however, to not have to rely on that technology, needing things to be up to date, needing to have things charged or whatnot, it is gold to have that entire evolving experience that just happens on the table with the materials in front of you. It's absolute magic.
Now, talking about the fiddly bits, there was thing we did miss one state change of a card because it was on the back of something, and we completely missed it. And trying to backtrack and figure out why haven't we gotten this? Why haven't we seen this? But the great thing is there is a wonderful community out there. I was able to put something up on BGG, and within a day I had people saying, okay, have you looked at this? Have you tried this? And not getting too spoilery and giving me, hand feeding me everywhere I was supposed to go. It was just, here's places to look. Cody Miller himself is on there helping people out every time you look. And seems to be on there every day. It's a wonderful community to reach out to for anything you need help with.
Yeah, and there is built into the system. So one thing that's really neat is you get these keys along the way that will have keywords, and you keep them in your inventory, in your party inventory. So when you come across that, you'll be able to know, hey, this triggers, and then you're moving on to the next part of the storyline. However, sometimes you go to those places first, and then you haven't gotten the key yet. You get the key afterwards, and you'll have to kind of try to remember, hey, I remember those words, or if you don't, it can get a little complicated, but there is built in a system here where there is some guy in the guild camp that you can pay some money and you can give him that key, and you can look and it will tell you where that key is used on what hex. So if you get stuck in this way, it is built into the system to help you out. But it does open, there is a possibility of user error, because if you put in the wrong thing or you miss a little bit of information, you can get potentially a little stuck. But yes, that community is wonderful in case you need that. And we just did that one time, and it was totally because of our error on pulling a map and missing a state change. Yeah.
We're just so excited to get into the encounter. We're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, go.
Well, see, now, okay, so we have played our fair share of campaign games. So we've given you the list so you have an idea of where we're coming from. What is thrilling to me about this is that I have never played a campaign game from start to finish that has been thrilling from start to finish. Like, there have been games that we loved, but mid-game it started to get a little tiresome, and we pushed to the end because, well, we wanted to complete it. This was kind of the opposite. In fact, it even got more exciting as we went along. And this is where I want to give a thought to some reviewers that may do a review just off of a handful of plays, to keep the review with a grain of salt, because it changes so much and it's so dynamic and it's so evolving as it goes along. Like, much of the best part of the game was in the last third of it, where it gets epic, and some of those battles are beyond epic and absolutely brilliant to my mind in how they have put it together. And even right to the very end, as we're finishing the game, as we're about to see if we have won and get to be free as exiles, it felt it was thrilling. I felt exalted winning this game. It just absolutely had all the feels, and the excitement didn't wane at all for us throughout this whole thing, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew.
And the neat thing about that ending is that there are different endings, different levels of an ending, depending on at what point you said, yeah, we've played this enough, let's just go. If we don't know about the lower levels because we didn't peak, because we had just about everything done, not 100%. But
we had all our squills. We had every squill. We didn't miss a single squill.
But it was interesting to see that if you didn't get 100% of squills, then there was a separate little ending. Maybe you didn't get as much information as we did, or somebody that collected all the squills would, but there are different levels that continue the storyline, but maybe you just don't have as much info going forward.
And that was a really fun thing too, is how your character that you chose has a storyline that evolves through it as well. That really added a nice element to it.
And everything, all the encounters have a good distribution between straight combat and riddles and puzzles and things where you're not always expected. It's not always hack and slash. Sometimes I think we spent one gaming session getting a lot of experience for never raising a sword or any of our weapons, and just doing a really fun investigation deduction kind of thing.
I think about 30% of the game is non-combat based. So 70% is combat. So there's a lot of combat in here, and it's really good. I really love the combat system here. It's very fun. And what I love is it's highly strategic. There's a high tactical element to this, which I love. So as Sean mentioned, it's not just hack and slash. You really need to think for a lot of these of your tactics, how you're going to accomplish this, particularly when you're going into a combat that's going to be really challenging for you. There's that strategic element to it. There's that puzzle. There's a crunchiness to that. Now, it's not crunchy like Gloomhaven is, which that's one of the reasons why I've always really loved Gloomhaven. It has that crunchy, puzzly element to the combat, and I love that. I know it's not some people's favorites, but that's what I love. It brings kind of almost a Euro feel to that hack and slash combat. So this isn't quite as crunchy in the way of using cards in certain ways, but there is a lot of tactics involved, and I really, really love that strategic thought of combat.
And part of a lot of the fun of the combat was being able to open a new door, get a new mini that you haven't seen before.
Yes, and that is one of my favorite parts of this game. Okay, all the minis come painted, and they're gorgeous, but the coolest thing here is they're all hidden behind walls. So it's a box like an advent calendar where you get to open little areas, and you don't know what's inside that. So you have a new encounter and you don't know what it's going to be. So you see that really cool thing for the first time, and it's exciting. So most of these kind of games, like, you see the whole amount of what you're gonna get throughout the game, and when you first open the box, and yeah, that's cool and everything, but to spend that extra amount of resources to put them in boxes, to have them hidden away and opening them up individually was such a treat. And was really, really exciting, especially when you get to some of the really, really cool characters out there.
Yeah, I didn't ever thought about that, but yeah, when you're punching Gloomhaven to put it away or to organize it, you're seeing the things that you're going to encounter, and you're going, oh wow, he's really cool, I can't wait to encounter him. This, you have no clue until you open that door.
Yeah, like,
or you pull the faux card, I guess.
Yeah, or like Vanguard, where you open it up and there's all your amazing minis, and they're amazing and stuff, but you can see them all, and there's that little bit of a spoilerness as you know what you're going to encounter. It's like each battle was like a new little present. What's the next thing you're gonna get? And having them painted too on top of that is choice, because as much as we want to paint our minis, we don't have the time or necessarily the knowledge to do so. So we just have a whole lot of gray minis then, and it's just really ups it to have them painted. And then all of the components are really, really great as well. The player boards are fantastic. It's a really great save system between, you have 3 boards and you have places for everything, and they all stack nicely, holding what your character's current state is at, and it makes it fast and easy to set up. This is an easy one to set up.
Yeah, dual layer boards, all the maps are organized into little holders, everything fits together in the box nicely. There's cards that explain what your character's skills are. They fit in a nice little tuck box. That's where your pieces can go. Everything is great. And the coins they're not coins, they're little metal ingots. And everybody that has seen them has just been in love with them immediately.
They are very nice. They are very nice. We always love metal coins, but these are just,
they've got a very satisfying weight to them. They've got a very satisfying shape to them. They're just a lot of fun to collect just for collecting them.
And the development of the story is phenomenal too. So this is a great story as it develops. It keeps you hooked and it keeps you moving on. There are so many things going on here. So I think my final thoughts on this, so this isn't a full review or anything, this is just a discussion about our experience, but this has been, in my absolute top favorite campaign games that I have ever played. I think there's a lot of brilliant things that have gone into this, and if you can get your hands on it, it is well worth it if it sounds like it might be something interesting to you, because we are super excited about it as we are now into our second run of it, and we really hope that there is an upcoming expansion in the works.
Yeah, we are keeping our eyes peeled because we will jump on that with both feet.
Thank you so much for watching us today. Now, if you have played Arydia, tell us your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear from you.
And if you've made it this far in the video, why not subscribe?
And as always, happy gaming, folks.
Try and sit
In the exact same way. Because I had the camera all ready and stuff. Okay, thanks.
Try and find your divot.
Your butt divot.
Get yourself back in your butt divot.
Be that.
Sorry, stuffed fables and familiar tales.
Oh yeah, those are two. Yes, we didn't mention stuffed fables and familiar tales. Yes, those are two other campaign things.
Yeah.
More geared towards kids that we've played with our 12-year-old. Do you want to move it? It also weighs like 30 pounds.